Vodafone presents the pre-match.
It's the battle at the bottom of the table here for the North American Pro League. It is Rogue taking on EU United Launders, and we actually get to see Nuke being picked out here.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, straight away it's like,
wow. Huh? I was not so intrigued by this match, but
now it makes it a bit spicier,
now
right?
I'm wondering a little bit.
See?
You know, I think the problem is that in the season, teams are so good that even Rogue, who in my opinion have not played that badly this season, are extremely low because the competition is just so fierce. Yeah. You know, United, even just like the last season was their first season in Pro. They came out swinging, almost made land both Pro League and other leagues, and now they have like 7 losses, 9 losses maybe, and Rogue have 7, something like that. So both fighting for relegation. It's just not what you expect. Rogue literally just qualified for the major, and yeah, that's just not what you expect.
That's what happens when you lose your in-game leader and have to play with a player who's playing from Europe as well. It doesn't really help with the ping. But with all excuses aside, both these teams have only played Nuke twice in recent times. And for instance, Rogue, they've lost both their games. It doesn't look too hot for them. They lost against Ghost 16-5. They lost against NRG 16-9. EU United, though, they played it twice, and they won once against a team called Team One from Brazil. So not a team we're seeing in Pro League. And they lost against Kingwin 16-9. Obviously, Kingwin have started to look a better team in terms of that Polish lineup, that iteration of it here. My main things that I would say for both teams is EU United, okay, we saw that kind of famed run, right? We spoke about it at the beginning of the day, that actually you took down a Cloud9, but it's not a Cloud9, okay, it's not this Cloud9 we're seeing, but it was a Cloud9 who were major winners, but were also losing all their roster parts at the same time. So how much do we take from that, right? Because EU United, on paper, they've got a skilled roster, but they're not showing it here in Pro League. Yeah,
not in Pro League for whatever reason. I think part of that is just how difficult it is to win each match. And I think if we contextualize all the losses, I'm sure we could see some things that show us why they got here in the first place. But for them to go up on Nuke, I kind of understand Team One. Or maybe another team we might see soon in Pro. They're actually quite good. And for Rogue, they like Nuke. Maybe one of Higo's favorite maps. You always see him with the noob tube and upper, holding it down from the top of it. He's really good on CT side. And they have a lot of tricks, a lot of vent tricks that we'll see. That'll make it pretty spicy for EU United, but I think it's going to come down to CT side for both teams.
Now, for me, right, Rogue surely should be kind of the team that maybe isn't underestimated here, because they obviously got a bit of a pass of it. You've got a new in-game leader. He's playing from Europe. That's a fair enough thing. But EU United, you've got the same roster here. You should be able to play better as an actual team.
Yeah, I can't give them any excuses, really. They really should be playing a lot better. I think it's another team where it's hard to pick out what their weakness is, right? If you look at all their players, like, who do you want to, say, target when you are lacking any other information? Statistically, I couldn't even tell you who's the worst player on the team. So, yeah, the overall performance needs to be a little bit higher. I think Moose is a player we hype up a lot in the matches that we casted. The individual performance
no Canadian bias there, of course.
No, I'd say it wasn't there, you know, their performance. So, biased in the wrong way, I suppose.
He's actually the highest rated player that we'll see on the server as of recent months in terms of individual performances. So he has been up there. And I've actually just been told by production as well that Crystal has made his way over to America. So the first week he certainly wasn't there. So maybe for week 2 they brought him back in to say, hey, look, we need you to play up to maximum
no more hard
potential.
Mode. We're taking the weights off.
Yeah. And that's a tricky thing, right? He had to play all of week 1 with high ping and from a time zone which certainly isn't anywhere near to being... He'd be doing our hourly shifts, right?
Yeah.
Confused as hell, dazed in the darkness, saying, oh, God, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Crystal, still some questions with Crystal. You know, how good is he? I think when he was on Penta, it was like just sad for him. Like just how unlucky it feels like he got.
Yeah, you watched all the other players go to better opportunities, and he just got sat there like, oh, great, everyone forgets about me.
Yeah, but then when he came to Ghost, I think a lot more people were doubtful about how good he is, really. And I think that's a fair question. We see him play well. I think the biggest thing he has in terms of value is his versatility, off and calling, and just generally fragging. So he still has that. But this might be one of his last like real rosters if he doesn't show like his A game. So.
time for him to shine and time for our commentators to shine as well, as Connor and Harry are here ready to get on with this last series of the day. Now, where are you guys favouring this? Because it could be a real 50-50 split, depending on what we actually see from Rogue this time around. And now I've just found out the Crystal's actually over in the States. Maybe that gives them a bit more of a boost.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, especially because it's on Nuke. I mean, these are two teams who like to kind of float that pick around. I think we've seen NRG dispatch of Rogue on it just recently.
Yep.
So now it's cool because these are two teams who are kind of in that lower echelon that want to make Nuke happen, and they're going to get a chance to show that. I would really hope that United actually just kind of step up and show us that individual level that we know they're capable of. The one that we haven't quite seen, at least not in the Pro League as of yet this season. You know, I think Dazzle is an incredible player, and I want to tonight, see him shut this all down.
Well, we will find out if he will be able to shut it all down, or will Rogue be able to upset them a little bit further here. We're going into Nuke and Launders is grabbing Scrawny's nipples, so we've got into a whole different style of commentary here. Maybe he's just missing you, mate.
Well, now I'm really excited.
Yeah.
For this match.
Yeah, I am really excited indeed. And I mean, yeah, for me, I saw a United play at DreamHack Montreal.
Yep.
You were there as well, Connor.
I most
They didn't
certainly was.
have the most amazing of debuts, but I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't terribly impressed when I watched them play at that event.
Yeah, but don't mistake LAN United for online United.
Right.
They're two different. I think they're different people.
Like a real sort of multiple personality thing going on there.
You were thinking of Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes, there you go. That's the one. Yeah,
I could see it in your eyes.
Could see it. It was on the tip of my tongue, and you bailed me out once again, Connor. I owe you for that. Speaking of, I don't know how I was gonna tie that in, but yeah, you can see the odds there. They're gonna go ahead and predict Rogue to be the slight favourites in this one. But I would love for United to prove me wrong at least. I'm not entirely sold. It's going to be looking good for them here, though, in this pistol round. Bring around the Rosie for Crystal, and actually, he's going to go ahead and get wrecked. So United finding their first round here. Crystal being inside this Rogue roster is an interesting one for me. You know, obviously having to come in last minute as a result of Cadian departing this roster.
Yep.
Heading to greener pastures over inside of that North team. Largely based on how he was one of the main attributes of turning this Rogue roster into such a competitive force. But Crystal's an interesting pickup, of course. He was over on Penta for the longest time. He was part of that organization for like 3-4 years or something like that. Yeah. Just stuck in one team. I imagine partly through his own choice.
And then came here to Rogue. Kind of, fill it in the holes. Like Mohan said, because of his versatility, though. This round wasn't supposed to be all too much, and it's not winding up to be, but there was certainly a chance for Rogue here as they kind of surprised the United with the explosiveness of this round. They will still all seem to fall. Only Vice is up, but at least there's the bomb plant. At least there's the 2 kills already versus the United. Do we get another, though? Bomb's planted so far away. Nice kill from Vice. He could even pick up another despite bomb being defused. No, sir. Dapper cuts him down. United to 2, but with heavy costs.
Yeah, now this buy from Rogue is going to come in, and it's going to be very, very good. As a result of that bomb going down, they're going to have everything they could possibly need. They're not going to be bringing out an AWP. Instead, it's just going to be rifles across the board. So we might see something a little bit faster here. Perhaps, Nuke, very utility-based. You almost need to have 3 smokes as like a bare minimum to have them go down outside almost every single round. We see some sort of presence here. And this is no different from Rogue. They go ahead and throw down these smokes. We've seen some creative iterations of this, but they go for the standard wall and they try and get over the top of it, but they just go running into Moose. And he shuts down 2. Crystal does at least come in with a response. It's him and Ricky in a 2v3.
Yeah. I think Moose is a really good outer yard player on Nuke. I think it's actually one of the pieces that United could be using to succeed here tonight. Obviously, this round, he just kind of gets ahead of that quick split through Mini, but even despite this being an advantageous position for United, they do still continue to fall 1 by 1. Luckily for them, they ultimately get the best of Rogue with Dapper and Ace finishing it off, but yet again, Harry, a round that comes with costs.
Yeah, everything has a cost. The only issue is Rogue right now, they're not going to be ones to be making demands. They're not in the position of power themselves when it comes to their money. They've gone for a bit of an investment here, but they've left themselves with a buy available in the next round. You take a look at this. They don't have enough smokes to do anything outside. This is going to be a fast play in towards A. Maybe you're going to try and get down to this fence. The rest of the guys hit the B ramp. But the issue is the bomb went A alone. You try and get it down the vents. You understand the plan there, right? You can go for that fast plant inside of B, and then the guys at ramp look to overwhelm the E United player there. And then they try and create a round on the back of it. But that's great if it works. The issue is the grim alternative is what's happened now, and that bomb goes down almost immediately. It's dropped out in the A bomb site, and there's so many crosshairs now trained on that position. There should just be no way back into this for Rogue.
Shouldn't be at all. Maybe Sip gets an M4, but no, Moose is still out there on the loose, and he gets himself the final frag. So that's 3 for him this round. He's up on 6 kills. It's actually Dapper who's looking good tonight. 8-0 already. Obviously, he had a good multi-frag in the pistol round. And now everybody's back in on the guns. Ace versus Ricky in terms of the oppers. I think that's an interesting one. Ace, I love you, but we've had some struggle buses from Ace as of late. And I think that Ricky is one of those oppers who might actually give him a good run for his money. Whether it's not Ace necessarily in the scope, it is still Ricky picking up a quick kill. Catches Dapper immediately here in the 5th round. Moose gonna move from secret stairs and flirt with the idea of peeking upper. Just misses Crystal on the timing. And we do get that volley of nades to move forward. They're putting up the wall, and the Molotov forces the feet of Moose. He comes up, Crystal, not expecting him to go on the suicide run. But it nets him not only the kill, but a fallback on top of it. Sure, a lot of health gone, but he's still going to take the numbers game. And Ace will be given no targets. Even despite there being a gap in that smoke, they all trickle past. Now, nobody stays outside. They all go down. So Rogue very much hitting up this B site. You can see the rotates already. Moose in this position. And already now Relic's coming to join him. So this is a strong crossfire going both ways. Moose doesn't hit his target, and there are many targets to take. But he ends up being the casualty. Dazzle with a double, and Hiko with a straight trade frag leaves Ace to clutch this. Op versus 2.
Yeah, we get a bit of razzle with our Dazzle there. He's gone ahead and made this round possible, but Ace and an AWP in the retake. Definitely far from ideal, and it looks like we could be seeing Rogue find their first round here. E United just going to make the decision to go ahead and save. That's on the back of, if you recall, the last few rounds not being the cleanest of rounds, even though they have been picking them up. You think back to that second round eco from Rogue where they get the bomb down, they find 3 kills on Vice. That there does a great job of keeping the economy down. Then into their buy, they were reasonably successful, and here they've finally done it. And now they're going to be doing a lot of damage over to this E United economy. Ace, if he holds into this AWP, that's fantastic. You can still scrape a buy together in this next round, as long as he stays alive. And Rogue, they equally want to make money. They're not going to go hunting. They just count their lucky stars that they find their first round here. Man, I'm excited to see is Sick. I remember when he was originally kind of in that Misfits roster, he was like, the one guy that everyone was kind of speaking about over in NA, this really promising up-and-coming youngster within the North American region. And then just kind of, petered out a bit. Like, we didn't really hit too much from him inside of this Rogue roster then. Maybe looking a bit reinvigorated. You have Vice alongside him. Yeah. Hiko there is the dad of the team. And back when you had Cadian, you'd frequently look more towards Sick and Vice to be the players opening things up.
Yeah, back when they had 2 dads. But now it's Crystal. I guess he could still be a dad. He's got the years of experience, the wisdom. Ace has decided to come outdoors to look for a target early. There's been a consistency from Rogue using this walls of smokes to either get down inner or hit the mini door. We see that volley of utility yet again. I like that Ace, he's changed it up. Instead of watching the wall, he's watching this gap where eventually players have to cross. So that's a good reposition from Ace. He reads it well. Sure, the wall of smoke is so consistent in hiding the players crossing, but he finds a way to still spot the additional bodies, the back line of this play. Crystal already up in the face of Dapper, though, so vents belong to Rogue. Now, Relix is inside of the bomb site because of the changes to vents. It's not as though Crystal can get him. But eventually they'll trickle in, Harry. And when they do so, he's going to have to hold it. He's got the assistance of the ramp players coming downwards as well, but you have to be careful when it comes to over-rotations, too. We saw last time when Ace lost the 1v2 because Hiko just ejected straight up vents. Same thing could happen if they decide not to hit the B site.
Alex is good to find one onto Crystal. They also catch Sick trying to cross and get back into the backline. Suddenly only Hiko and Ricky left alive, and it's going to be a 2-on-4 scenario for them. 10 seconds. They have to get this bomb down, and they've got so much work to do if they want that to be a reality. And while one kill does come in, Ace is instantly there at the ramp to trade. E United taking back a 5th round.
Yeah, there's 2 changes up in that round that I actually really like from E United, because think of these 2 situations. The consistent wall smoke that's outside, Ace gets around by, again, changing his position and hitting the opposite side of Red Box. And then in addition to that, think about the way Moose kills the player who comes from Vent/Mini in an attempt to get to the A site. So not only has Ace been a solution to the beginning of the round problem, that wall of smokes, but that rotate from B to A, which has also served as an issue, was figured out by Moose pushing into the squeaky door and watching backwards. 2 nice little changes in that most previous round, which reset Rogue efficiently, forcing them to take this pause.
Yeah, the issue for now is going to be where do the solutions lie for Rogue. Their money not going to be looking too great as they instantly kind of come off the back now of a bit of a reset heading into this round. Everyone's sitting around between $1,400 to $3,000. So I'm curious what sort of a buy we're going to see from the Rogue boys, if any. Only issue is this is a great start for United. We know how temperamental Nuke can be. We know how CT-sided it can be as well. You know, Rogue, they don't have a Dane in the roster anymore. Dane's the real only group of people that actually like this map.
It's in their blood.
Yeah, it actually is, which is worrying because, you know, you're having nukes in your blood. Bit irradiated over here in Denmark for some odd reason.
That's why their vegetables are so good.
Yeah, the vegetables do seem very good.
They're
right?
really
They're
good.
also very expensive, so I feel like maybe that's something to do with it. But, especially their carrots.
Yeah, the carrot sticks. That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, right.
Me and Mohan talk about them regularly.
Yeah, I don't get it. I've never had a carrot as good as a Danish carrot. But, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to link carrots into this.
You can link it in the sense that the next gun round is the carrot ahead of Rogue. It's what they're chasing.
Hey, there we go.
Catch up to.
That would mean that they are
Horses.
Well, I was going to say donkeys, but horses are arguably a much nicer animal. So we'll go with horses. Sick. He is going to go ahead and stampede on in. Does actually get trampled, but now Moose going to best the horses of Rogue. I wouldn't want to annoy a moose. Have you seen a moose in person? You're Canadian. You're probably What are they like?
They're huge. Huge. Like 3.5 times the size of a deer.
Really?
Yeah, they're
I didn't
massive.
realize. What's the plural of moose? Meese?
Moose.
Meese.
1 goose, 2 geese, 1 moose, 2 moose. Why doesn't it change? Who knows?
Moose eye.
But, you know what, Harry? That was a quick one. Rogue obviously just getting that out of the way because this is what they want. They want some guns. Do you know what a mule is in comparison to a donkey or a horse?
Yeah, it's a cross between the two.
Yes, it is. It is the offspring of a male donkey and a female horse. Good on you. Good on you.
Now the man looking to be the mule of this round by carrying the load for E United. Looks to be Ace. He's going to go ahead and traverse the secret stairs, trying to take a peek down into the outside land and see what he might see. Right now it's nothing, but there are about to be players coming his way. Ace has been so versatile, so good at switching up these positions. Rogue constantly guessing where E United's AWPer might be. And this time, it still remains a secret, but he's going to go peeking on in, and now they've spotted him out. He drops that Incendiary and just looks to back away.
Yeah, I think if Ace is having a good game, then E United are having a good game. Because I don't think that Ace can be the player to start off a good matchup for them, but if everything seems to be piecing itself together, then Ace is going to come to life. You know, he's not the first step, but he's a killer second step. So with the likes of Dapper and Moose already hitting so many shots, it's no surprise to me that Ace is warming up, but he's missed a couple crucial ones thus far. Does die for free in the end. Luckily, Dazzle's there. Dapper's up here towards the top of Vents 2, and Moose roaming within the B bomb site. Doors opened at his face, so he closes them, and he's pinched in a bit of a pickle. The team continues to try and trickle within the site, but they can't get in. A defensive stance that's too hard to strike down. Relics finally traded as Vice and Hiko pick up one apiece, but it falls on only Sick. The last member remaining with 10 seconds left over. I think he's just going to call this one quits. Or does he actually try this? Because it's not looking good. Not with this little time left over, but he's picked up the bomb he could plant right now. But it doesn't go down. And so it's 6 rounds to lose.
Oh, and he actually falls after the time there. It goes from looking potentially great for Rogue to now an absolute travesty. Is Sick now on $300. They are going to be in such an awkward spot in terms of the money. They're going to go ahead and stick a tiny bit into this one. Sick is going to be very limited into this next round. Regardless, they shouldn't get too much done. What this has meant for me, at least, is I've gone ahead and looked up some Moose facts that we can rally off, at least. But let's wait and see how Rogue do with this. The nades don't actually find anything. Looked like maybe they were going to try and vent dive, but they've decided against it. Now they've slowed down. This is great for us, though. I didn't realize just how big Moose were. Why does no one ever talk about
They're
this?
huge.
Yeah, you weren't kidding.
Oh, yeah. Like, you know, I could fight a deer.
Their antlers span up to 5 feet.
Yep. I mean, if anybody who's at home, obviously we can't because we're casting this game, but if you're at home right now, take this round, go on YouTube, and look up moose charging, right? There's a really good video of like 5 kind of snowshoers walking down a trail, and the trail is only wide enough for like 2 people, and there's a moose coming the other way. And they're kind of face to face, right?
That is terrifying.
So what do? You're within 5-foot snowbanks.
Yeah.
So you can't get off the trail, and the moose can't do anything, except the moose runs into this huge pile of snow, and he just starts running forward, and it looks like a snowplow. Now, that's just a truck with a plow on it.
You've really sold this. And also,
oh my God.
By the way, they can run up to 56 kilometers an hour.
That's the video right there.
We found the video. We've got it all. By the way, fun little note right there. Crystal waits till they break the glass outside for him to push on in. So they break it at the same time, right? And now they don't know that Crystal's behind them.
Yeah, Relic can fall to that. Or just the spam through smoke. Either one works. Same net result here, right? Ramp is open for the taking. Moose, believe it or not, are actually really good swimmers, too.
Yeah, that was actually the next fact.
Oh.
Did you write this article, Connor?
I swear I didn't.
Did you know they can dive 5 meters underwater? They're like the ultimate predator. We are so lucky that they're herbivores.
Yeah, you really
Moose,
are.
who run the world? Moose.
Who plants the bomb? Rogue. It's all they really have going for them this round. Everybody else is picked up after the fact. So I do like that little pinch, right? Trying to use Crystal to get behind ramp. Like, if Sick doesn't just get them through smoke, then that's definitely the way to go. Crystal would have ultimately found Relics, I'm sure. But in the end, like I said, it's the same result. They use that ramp to move the bomb downwards. They plant it for a little injection of cash money. And now Rickey's got himself another op. Everybody's got the utility, but Rogue, bigger problem is they may have everything in the world. What they only have is 1 round on the board. So they're certainly going to need more of those. Need some more of them rounds, but fast one. They're going to blow open the squeaky door, try to quickly just assert themselves somewhere on the map, and they've been immediately turned aback. A 4v5 is not a good look for a team already down 8-1.
Yeah, definitely not. This is not the start the Rogue wanted to get off to. At every turn, they've been bested thus far, and they've left us wanting. Now here he is, the man in question, Moose, outside, laying down in the pain. Well, already this man, he doesn't have antlers that are 5 feet wide. He doesn't run at 56 kilometers an hour, but he's already gone ahead and shut down absolutely everyone outside. So Hiko and Ricky left alive, 2v5. And oh, Ricky, you're so fine. But not just my mind you got to try and blow. It's the brains of E United all over the place.
Yeah, just smash the skulls like pumpkins.
Ooh. Yeah, maybe not.
Squash?
No, pumpkins. Pumpkins.
Zucchinis.
You smash zucchinis?
Only if you're a rebel.
That's like weirdly. That's like smashing a cucumber.
You smash a zucchini because it wants to be a cucumber. It's a false prophet. All right? Don't get me started. You don't know what kind of can of worms you're opening here, Harry.
I clearly didn't. You know, politics and vegetables are the 2 topics that are off limits right now. you know, both shockingly similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah, politics full of vegetables.
Well, let's take a look at this buy from Rogue, as you know, they don't have a lot of meat behind this buy either. They've got the 2 AKs and a Galil. Mac 10 up on Hiko. Dapper already doing a good job of, I mean, he's kind of playing with fire there, but it works out. He's able to get by. Even if your heart does flutter a little bit out of that presence of, ooh, Ace going to be able to just drop Crystal through that smoke, and that there is another issue for Rogue to try and deal with. They keep on sneaking in, and they are going to get down through Secret, but there's already players here lying in wait.
Somebody needs to fix their smoke for Rogue, because that's not the first time that gap has actually happened on the wall of smokes. And the thing with the outer nuke yard is, like, that's such a key piece to playing T-side nuke, that wall of smokes, that you can't afford to have a gap in it. So Crystal losing his life, someone's going to have to, they'll take a pause, you know, YouTube it real quick. Resort back to the playbook. But it may be coming too late. We are 11 rounds deep, and E United gunning for a 10th now. Doors swung wide, and Relics spotted above. Ace anticipates the walkout, and by blowing the brains out of Rikke, he's also dropped the bomb into the ground. So 3v2 still. E United doing a good job of maintaining the man advantage, but Vice goes into the aggressive stance and only walks away with one. Dazzle turns him back. Sick, swapping guns and getting his paws on the bomb. Could plant safely behind the silos. But then the big problem is, how do you get out of this position? Because once the bomb's been planted, these two weapons should be honed forwards on him. He tries to separate it left and right, but instead he's kissed goodnight. That is E United with 10.
I was so hopeful there as well. The most common cause of death for Moose is just sickness down a parasite. That would have been such a good clutch. What a time to use that fact. If Sick had 1v2'd versus Dazzle and Moose, but sadly not meant to be. E United, they're standing tall against the boys on Rogue.
Must be that new logo.
What, like, I mean, it's like relatively new, right? Like,
well, no, before it said E United underneath it.
Oh.
Now it's just the E and U with the star.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
They don't need to tell us it's E United.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The logo speaks for itself.
Yeah, and so does the
Unlike
scoreline.
Rogue. Right in the name.
Yeah, the other day we had Rogue versus Renegades, and just, you know, like, visually speaking,
yeah, they are
it
pretty
looked
similar,
really cool, right? Except I don't think they face, I think they face the same direction. It'd be cool if you had like a head-to-head.
Yeah, that would be good.
You know, like a mirrored version. You can do the mirrored version until it has words underneath it.
Ah.
So you're limiting yourself, folks. If casting doesn't work, I don't know if I'm going to go to National Geographic or become a brand ambassador. You know, I'm floating.
Why not both? The brand ambassador for National Geographic. I mean, their branding's pretty strong.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Much better than anything I've ever done. Goodbye, Sick.
Actually, he's been spared for the time being.
Yeah, I didn't anticipate the silo being so tall.
That's fine, you know.
You know, it's crazy. The amount of times that we've seen like Ace or Moose use the safer route to get over here towards the secret stairs, and then last round was the first time we saw Dapper play it, and he had the confidence to just barrel on through.
Yeah,
jumping around.
I mean, it's like that's that fine line between like confidence and idiocy. But he makes it work, and it works brilliantly for United. So if it works, you know, it's not dumb. Moose will get bested actually towards outside. One of the first times we've seen Rogue pick something up here, and this could be a turning point because look at where Vice is.
Yeah, that's only made affordable by the fact that Rikke snipes him. Like, if Vice had killed him, then it's called that Vice is already in this position. But because Rikke snipes him, I mean, all his call is going to be is there's a sniper outside. And look at the net worth from that. Vice walks inwards, and an unsuspecting E United is just cut down on the A bomb site. But Relics is also behind them, and Ace is causing a distraction inside of the vents. So this is one of those plays that can get really wonky. He's got to clear up above. That's the first point of contact, which he does certainly take. Rikke next to fall, and it's just going to fall onto Hiko now. The bomb is planted on the opposite side, and he doesn't want to make any noise, but by the time he gets there, the bomb's going to be defused. And then Relics flicks him.
Yo, how does he manage that? Relics is just a beast with the Orc. E United finding an 11th round of Rogue. Even when they have a man literally just trying to steal that round away. This A-bomb site, it's a real Grand Theft Auto, just real Vice City inside of that A-bomb site. But it's still not enough. They still get bested. Relics with the AUG of all weapons. It's an absolute orgy inside of that A bomb site, and my goodness, 11-1. E United looking good. Rogue, they've gone for the buy. They've got what they can. It's AKs across the board, decent bit to work with. But the issue is now for Rogue, I mean, that should have been their round. There's almost no doubt about it.
That's wild. Just because Vice is able to wrap around through Heavens. I mean, that in and of itself is supposed to seal the deal. And when he picks up those 2 quick kills, you could see how out of position E United were. They never saw that coming. Unsuspecting and unprepared. My goodness, 11-1. At the beginning of the game, I saw these rotations from E United that looked like they were a little shaky at times. Rogue were being very good at getting themselves down the secret stairs. That's been completely countered. There's so consistently someone there for E United, and yet even then, Rogue, it's not like they've been able to burst onto the A bomb site, and they may try to do so now. They have dropped Dapper, who was burned out into the open. But Relix will try his hand at a flank once more. It was just checked by Vice, but seconds later is when Relix will finally arrive. Now he's gonna have to go maybe a little quicker because he's losing teammates, but unfortunately for Rogue, they've gone ahead and lost Bomb. And Ace is just floating within these smokes, so much so that he's hit his own teammate. Not gonna seem to matter. Only Ricky left over. And while the smoke still blankets Ace, Ricky will change the pace and get himself above, but he's spotted and dealt with swiftly. So this could actually be the most lopsided of affairs, Harry, because the best case scenario for Rogue now in a round where they're strapped for cash is 12-3.
Yeah, this is just absolutely unreal. This is certainly not what we predicted, Connor. You and I had a little talk about this, and we said this is probably going to be quite a long-winded game, very, very back and forth between these two teams. And that has not been the case whatsoever. Rogue just getting annihilated at every turn here. They cannot seem to find anything that works. And that's the issue with this T-side of Nuke. It can just feel like you're running into a brick wall. They finally find some ground as they start to push in towards this A bomb site. But it's all been torn apart by Ace up in the heavens. Ricky going to do what he can. Has pulled it back to a 1v2, but the Deeg not enough. As Relix comes in once again, that trusty Org locking in a 13th round now for E United. And this is one of the most one-sided, I mean, this is the most one-sided game we've seen all evening. I don't know if you guys have had very one-sided games.
This is the most one-sided game so far on the mainstream this season.
There we go. What a stat.
E United.
I didn't think they had it in them. I'll be honest with you. I'm coming into this. I'm looking at Rogue. I see all these familiar faces, all these big names. Yeah. You know, you have Crystal. Now he's out in NA. That should be a big change.
But the thing is E United have always floated this nuke pick, right? Like, there's been times where they've looked great on this map. Tonight is definitely one of them. But Rogue has also kind of, found some level of comfort here. More so with Cadian. Obviously, you'd think that system still works around it. But what E United have been really good at is just kind of, poking Rogue with that left jab. Every time they seem to think they're setting up, like this moment here, Ace peers upwards, gets a pick, falls back. How many times did we watch Moose do the same thing from Secret Stairs? It feels like they're so consistently losing bodies from that position. It makes me wonder to myself, why hasn't Ricky tried to counterpick that play? Never really gets the chance. Now Relix continuing to lock down ramp. That's a whole other aspect of this. Sure, Ace outside's been great. Moose and Dapper within A have been fantastic, but Relix so consistently shutting down the opposite side of the map. And when you have so much map control on Nuke, you are just tying Rogue's hand and then sticking them on the train tracks. A train that's run away. Possibly the 13-2.
Yeah, the fact that that's the best outcome for Rogue that is possible is dismal, to say the very least. They turn their attention down here towards B, but Ace, he's already tuned in. He's turned on, he's switched in, and that is going to be the round almost. Ricky left in a 1v3. It's going to have to be a monumental effort, and Ace sends him back to the depths. 14-1 in favor of E United. And one thing that we mentioned is that for Rogue, while this was a good map for them, and one that historically they've always bested E United on, that was with Cadian in the roster. I went back, I took a look, and he was the man at the top of the board in every game that they ever played on Nuke. Cadian was top of the board, right? Now you look at him in North, I know you haven't got to see many of the games, but he's never this guy, like putting up these crazy numbers. But he always feels very, very comfortable here on Nuke, right? This is such a good map for him. It's one that North are good on. It's one that, know, Cadian himself as an individual is fantastic on. And it just goes to show you how much of a role he would have had in this Rogue team on this map.
I'm looking a look at the score here as well, and this is something I think that we haven't necessarily seen from E United so far this season, and that's that everybody's performing. Obviously, that's very easy when it's 14-1. I mean, the amount of gun rounds you've gone up against is minimal. Everything just seems to be clicking for E United, but that's when their team is actually able to accomplish things, when everybody clicks. They're not the type of team, although they do have hard carries at times, that I think can rely on that regularly. If you want to find a win, then everyone on this lineup has to come together, and my goodness, have they ever here tonight. So looking to seal the deal with a secondary pistol. It's going to be E United charging down ramp, vamping it up. I'm looking to catch the first player there. It's Sick, trying to retreat, done after just one. The bomb in tow, Dapper on the front line, just going to continue charging in, and he's got no respect, not even for a legend like Hiko. Another body stacks up. And remember, Dapper, he was the linchpin when it came to that first pistol. This time yet again with a multi-frag, and Ace even picks up 3.
And I mean, this just goes to, I mean, you know, maybe Rogue let this slip through because they think, you know, back when they had Cadian, this was a good map for them. They have Crystal now, you know, maybe they can just try and plug and play some of the old Cadian strategies. And, you know, Nuke, certainly not really the map where that sort of, you know, I think if there was a map where having a change of IGL is going to affect you a hell of a lot, it is here on this map. Just because, you know, on the T side especially, it's so hard to remain resilient, so hard when you go, you know, 5, 6 rounds down in a row to actually be able to build back into the game. That's not something that many people can do. And actually, we've slipped in. We've gone through this. I don't know what was going on there. We were like in the space-time continuum. There was negative an hour left of this game. But no, we're going to get to see the bit of a replay here, I believe.
That was the last round.
This is live right now. And it's very confusing. But
this is the stomp screen.
Yeah, Vice wrapping on round in towards this A bomb site. It's fully clear. He's at least been allowed to scavenge an AK.
I don't know how many people are alive. And E United win!
Oh, E United, yes, they will be closing out this map so dominantly, in fact, that they've shot us into another alternate dimension.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's going to be them closing this out. Fantastic stuff from the E United boys. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all from us, Connor, at least for now. There's still a second map yet to come. Only time will tell. Can E United keep this good form going? Or are we going to see Rogue pull it back in the second map? We'll be back with that after a break.